Hey guys, welcome to PQ, where we watch and talk about music as classical musicians, and welcome to this Friday. For this Friday, we chose Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan, who are both celebrated as the two big names of folk music in the 20th century. We're going to start with Joni Mitchell. We had so many requests for so many songs of Joni Mitchell, but we listened to Randy and Jim, two of our supporters on Buy Me a Coffee, and chose this song by Joni Mitchell to start with. This is Coyote. Thank you to both of you for suggesting this, and shout out to everybody else who requested any Joni Mitchell song. We were waiting for the right moment to start listening to her. I only know a couple of her songs, and those two songs are also I love, but I have never heard this song, so I'm very excited to explore this. And later today, we have a Bob Dylan song coming at 11, so make sure you tune back for that as well.
Joni Mitchell, right.
No regrets, Coyote. We just come from such different sets of circumstance. I'm up all night in the studios and you're up early on your ranch. You'll be brushing out a broodmare's tail while the sun is ascending, and I'll just be getting home with my reel-to-reel. There's no comprehending just how close to the bone and the skin and the eyes and the lips you can get, and still feel so alone, and still feel related, like stations in some relay. You're not a hit and run driver, no, no, racing away. You just pick up a hitcher, prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. Saw a farmhouse burning down in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night. We rolled right past that tragedy till we pulled into some roadhouse lights where a local band was playing. The locals were up kicking and shaking on the floor. The next thing I know, that coyote's at my door. He pins me in a corner and he won't take no. He drags me out on the dance floor and we're dancing close and slow. Now he's got a woman at home, he's got another woman down the hall. He seems to want me anyway. Why'd you have to get so drunk and lead me on that way? You just picked up a hitcher, prisoner of the white lines on the freeway.
Let's just wait here. Hopefully, I stopped it early enough. I don't think so though. But I was so curious to hear what is happening, because with specifically this song, I feel like we are in for a longer story. So far, I did not hear any kind of chorus or anything. It's just like verse to verse, and then she's really literally walking us through the story, and it was very interesting to figure out what the coyote is. So I think it's a person here. Like, she is referring to a guy that he said he has a woman at home and then down the hall, but also she's hitting on her. So that was so far. That's what I got with the lyrics. But we'll see what happens. Wow, I really like her style. I mean, I don't know if it's her style or is it just this song with this kind of style, but it's interesting that it's something between talking and singing. And I've heard people also before did that, like this kind of sometimes, but the other people, when the other people does it, is either more like a singing thing and it has like aspects of talking, or it's just talking more. You have this feeling that it's more talking than singing, and it has just a little bit of singing. But I think with her, it's like exactly 50-50, and it's like completely talking, but you can see that she sings the talking. You cannot say it's talking because you can hear the voice making this singing voice, and you can take out melody and hear melodies, but you can also not say that it's exactly singing because it's like really talking, and it's so interesting.
Hitcher, prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. I looked a coyote right in the face on the road to Belgeny near my old hometown. He went running through the whisker weed, chasing some prize down, and a hawk was playing with him. Coyote was jumping straight up and making passes. He had those same eyes just like yours under your dark glasses, privately probing the public rooms, peeking through keyholes in numbered doors, where the players lick their wounds and take their temporary lovers and their pills and powders to get them through this passion play. No regrets, Coyote, I just get off up a ways. You just picked up a hitcher, a prisoner of the white lines on the freeway. Coyote's in the coffee shop. He's staring a hole in his scrambled eggs. He picks up my scent on his fingers while he's watching the waitress's legs. He's too far from the Bay of Fundy, from Appaloosas and eagles and tides, and the air-conditioned cubicles and the carbon ribbon rides are spelling it out so clear. Either he's gonna have to stand and fight or take off out of here. I tried to run away myself, to run away and wrestle with my ego. And with this flame, you put her in this Eskimo, in this hitcher, in this prisoner of the fine white lines, of the white lines on the free, freeway.
Wow, that was very interesting. I have so
Yeah.
much to talk about her, basically not necessarily voice, but the phrasing and her approach toward like singing or telling us the story. Because as you said in the last pause, yes, her singing is kind of between speaking or like having a speech and singing, which really I think emphasizes that storytelling, that so it's really, I think, easier for me to have my attention there and really follow the story and the narrative compared to if it was all like singing to me. So I really love that she would like switch back and forth with that. But also her phrasing was kind of unique because I could not predict how she's gonna phrase things. Some verses were longer, some verses were like shorter, but the way that she would also like phrase them had like an improvisation approach to them. So it was not predictable at all. If somebody tells me what is the melody, can you hum a little of the melody that she was singing, her singing melody, I can't, because it really felt that it's just, she just made it at the moment, very spontaneous it sounded like. And I'm sure that it's not, because I think this is a recorded, she recorded this and then she's having a live performance of it. But it's very interesting that her approach is just like, she's just telling you a story and it's very spontaneous. She's just making it up as she goes. So that was the highlight of her performance to me. And I think that's a little bit of her style, because the other two songs that I heard, the studio version of it, they kind of had, I could see that it also had that vibe to them that is just very kind of like improvisatory approach. So that was very cool. Jim told us the dulcimer in this performance is really good, so I was also trying to follow the lines of that. I wish the dulcimer had like a little bit of solo or more of presence. I feel like that would be so cool. I don't know if it's the original has this or not, but I like that the new texture and layer that the dulcimer was adding was very cool. Yeah, I think the whole song was a contrast between longer notes and these short articulated notes from her way of singing that sometimes was really talking again, but in the talking things you could hear notes. For example, sometimes she would say something in a lower voice, and it was really more, you could say it's really more talking and more like articulated and short phrasing or like short notes. And sometimes she was really showing that she can also sing very beautifully with longer notes, less talking aspects and more like singing aspects. And in the music, in the background music was also like that, at least sometimes. For example, at least one time I remember that she stopped singing, and then suddenly this very high-pitched instrument came, and it was exactly replaced her with this talking aspect, and it was playing such a short notes, but then like after 2 seconds and a guitar came, like an electric guitar voice came, and it was playing like such a long and free notes to just balance these short notes that the other instrument was playing, and to show that in this song we have this contrast of short and long notes. And also later it happened again that in the background music you could really hear sometimes the contrast between longer notes, which was mostly played by the electric guitar, and shorter notes here and there. And as you said, exactly, I think in this song, the story that she was telling was very important to her, and she wanted that every attention goes to the story. That's why I think the arrangement was more like, at least at some parts, more like a chord progression that has nothing really flashy into it, or like really like different into it, so that you would say, oh, look at the music, or oh, look at the chord progression, it's so dramatic or something, so that it's something beautiful there. And also sometimes a little more interesting, sometimes like a little guitar sound coming out, or like this high-pitched instrument, or the instrument that you said come out, but it was more in the non-dramatic side, the arrangement. And also the way that she was singing, it was obvious that she has so much talent and so much control in her voice, but she was like, okay, I show a little what I have, and such a control I have in like singing that looks like talking, but it's really is singing, and I don't think everybody could do it. And also she was like, in some longer notes I show how much powerful my voice is, but I would rather use this kind of style so that it feels like I'm telling a story, and by talking and by speaking to it, it's not just a song and it's a story. Yeah, exactly. And speaking of, you talked about contrast a little bit, and I think, I mean, I'm sure we have to like read the lyrics, or like listen to it a couple more times, because one time is not enough to really like get to all the details of the story, especially because the song, I don't remember having like a very traditional chorus. She talked about her, or like a hitchhiker, being the prisoner of the white lines on the freeways, and she repeated that verse a few times. I don't know if that counts as a chorus or not, but I also really love that she kind of like she used the lines on the highway as metaphor, and herself as a prisoner of that, because she's constantly touring. She was talking about like she's in the studios up until the morning, and then there was a contrast between her life and the Coyote that was kind of like a player guy. That's what I got from it, because the Coyote had a very also like interesting character. He was using a lot of elements that actually are true for the Coyote, the animal, but I think there was a reference or a symbol of somebody that she met, and then he was not very committed either, because she was talking about like him having so many women around. So that's the extent of it from what I got. But then she repeated a few times that no regrets. So I'm guessing that can also be a personal story. You guys probably are aware of that, but we're not. We can go look it up, but it's just fun to guess, because like the way that she was performing it, it really struck me as like a personal story that she's just saying either that or she was really into it. So but either way, that was amazing to listen to. I think she has a very distinct voice and performance character like on stage, so I would love to listen to more of her songs. I've heard like Both Sides Now, and I've heard Big Yellow Taxi, which is also a very fun song. But if you guys have other suggestions, we can also do those two songs. But if you have other suggestions, please let us know. But we're gonna wrap this video here because we have another one coming at 11 Eastern time, so make sure you come back for that too. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you Randy and Jim for suggesting this beautiful song. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you want to support us more, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!